Hello, my loves. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. This is the first inaugural pilot coronation episode of See Like Sheba. Ooh, hi. Yeah. If you've, been with me from the beginning or for a little bit, you know that the universe was telling me it's time, girl. It's time to, evolve. And I love to evolve and grow and expand and explore. So this is the next iteration. Yeah. Updates. I guess it's been a couple of weeks since I've been here. Hi, Billy. Oh my gosh. First of all, got a new subscriber, my Aunt Linda. Thank you so much. Got our first donations, our first one from the non binary royalty Sakura. Second donation from my amazing, brilliant husband, partner, divine counterpart, Billy Bunton. Just so fucking honored for. Sorry, didn't mean to curse so early right out the gate, but I am just overcome with, joy and like gratitude for all the support I'm getting from the universe and my spirit team and just everyone. It's just so cool. Woo! How you guys been? Have you guys been feeling strange? I'll say. Um, if so, I know what's going on. It's that we're on a new timeline. And there is another timeline that is like, a lot of people are really attached to and they're trying to stick to that. But I just I'll go into this a little bit more, but yeah, we're not on that timeline anymore, babes. So, new protocol. Yeah, so I recently, I've done an episode this year, right? Yeah, I have. But I've recently kind of had a resolution at all of these shenanigans I was doing at work, had a really positive kind of closure on that. And like, I'm stepping into this, point of figuring out what to do next, kind of. It's like, I've had a lot of endings and, I'm starting a lot of things. So it's a really like exciting time for me. So I love it. So that happened at work. Um, I also, my student loans are forgiven. I'm done with my student loans. Um, if you know, of course, law school, very expensive. College, also quite expensive. So I had about $150,000 in loans. And because they were predatory and, I just did what everyone said I was supposed to with interest, even though I was paying like $600 a month with interest, I still owed $250,000. So ridiculous. But yeah, but I actually haven't paid student loans since 2020. And that was about 7 years. That was about after making about 7 years of payments. And then the pandemic hit. They paused the payments. And certainly like a year ago, I was like, I want to be done with my student loans like within the year. And a couple of months ago, I was like, I want 2020 to have been the last time that I paid student loans. I want to be done with that. It's made up and stupid. And I don't want to have to deal with it anymore. And lo and behold, I work in public service. Technically, I don't know, like technically, I work in public service, and if you make 120 qualifying payments, so 10 years of payments, the rest of your loans get forgiven. Because of the predatory interest rates, you don't even touch the principal. So you're just paying down on interest rates. So as the principal keeps, getting bigger or whatever, however that works. Anyway, all made up. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Free from it. So happy. Um, and I also have been, going through some stuff with my family. And I kind of had to realize, like, you know what? They're really attached to this previous timeline, and I'm on a new one. So let me like explain a little bit. Have you guys seen Quantum Leap? I feel like I've like talked about Quantum Leap before. Me and Billy like watched it a couple of months ago. It's with Scott Bakula. For some reason, I knew before I'd watched the show, I knew that the actor playing the Quantum Leap guy was Scott Bakula. Why did I know that? That's like such a random piece of information that I have. You know what I think it was? I used to love that show I Love the 90s on like VH1. It was so funny. I thought that was like so hilarious. And I like learned a lot of stuff about the 80s and 90s from I Love the 90s and I Love the 80s. Anyway, okay. Scott Bakula in Quantum Leap. The premise is like he kind of wakes up and he's in a bathtub. He's, standing somewhere or whatever. He gets a look in the mirror and he's someone. Sometimes he's a woman, sometimes he's an old guy, sometimes a teenager, sometimes he's a black guy. And he's quantum leaped into this person, into their timeline. And he has some like mission to fulfill, some like task to complete to assist this person or a person that the person they jump into or a person who is close to that person, assist them in doing something or persuade them to not do something or just, do something that like is supposed to like alter history or correct history or whatever. Anyway, so one episode he jumps into a black guy and he's sitting at a counter and he like looks up and or he's like outside and he like walks into a store and like sits at the counter and like all these like white people are staring at him and he like looks in the mirror and he's black and it's like the 1950s in like Alabama or something. We'll say Alabama or Georgia or something. And so he's in this black guy's body in the 1950s and he's sitting at a whites only counter, of course. And so the white people, like, what are you doing here, boy? And all that stuff. So when he jumps into a body, sometimes like the people whoever he leaped into, the people who were living with that person on that timeline are like, hey, get ready to work. Or like, they'll slap him like, why didn't you call me? Or like, hey, what are you doing here sitting at this counter? And it takes him a minute to kind of figure out what's going on. And he's kind of like, whoa, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Like, that didn't really have anything to do with me. I'm new to this vessel. So when he's in like the black guy's body, for instance, he jumps into the timeline and the white people are like, what are you doing sitting at this counter? And he's like, I'm trying to sit, and as the day goes on and stuff, like he realizes he's like a driver for this old white woman and he doesn't know where he's going, of course, and so like the white woman's being like, what is wrong with you? And he starts like kind of moving time forward. Like when they treat him badly because he's black, he doesn't just like accept the rules of the timeline he's on. He's not just like, oh, I'm black. Okay, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He doesn't do that. He continues to be Scott Bakula. And he's like, no, I don't care what you guys used to do. We're doing this now. I don't care how you used to treat this person. That doesn't have anything to do with me. You're not going to treat me that way. We're doing this now. And he like, I think in that episode, the daughter or something of the black guy whose body he was in got injured very badly. And they were right outside of this white hospital. This hospital is for white people. And the white people were like, sorry, oh, I know that's tough, but we can't. Sorry, it's a black person. We can't treat them. Which is like so insane that is how white people were within the past like 100 years. That's so crazy that they just literally will let non-white people die just because they're adhering to like the ridiculous rules of their timeline. Anyway, of course, Scott Bakula is like, I don't care what you guys are doing. You better treat this woman. And in that way, he like, and these other, he gets through to the white lady he's driving for and stuff, and encourages her to use her power. Like, she's like this old white woman who's respected in this community, and he's like, they listen to you. So if you say this is how it's going to be, that's how it's going to be. They might kick and scream for a little bit, but they are going to go along with it, and you do need to use your power. And eventually, like, you know, like, history is moved on. Like, humans are kind of evolved through jumping into that, doing that quantum leap. Does that make sense? I think it does. Oh, Billy says, what a dope concept to learn from. Yes, right? Like, I thought that was so interesting. And I think Billy suggested we watch Quantum Leap too. So, you're so brilliant. Like, without even us knowing it. I love it. So anyway, I think that's kind of what's happened. I've done actually I've been doing a lot of witchcraft, shadow work, ancestral work, inner child healing, a lot of like atypical, non-Western, like kind of male, whatever, exploration, healing work. And yeah, I like, one of the things I've been doing is like these robotic affirmations and subliminals about quantum leaping and about manifesting and about like, it's already done, just like reality creation. If you know, you know. And so I've been doing a lot of stuff about like quantum leap. And so if things seem different, you're welcome. It's because like we're on a different timeline, and these two timelines can exist at the same time. And I feel like recently with my family particularly, but like also with my work, and you know, probably in lots of other ways I can't even tell, I have like quantum leaped into this vessel. My higher self has like quantum leaped into this vessel, and it feels like there's a new sheriff in town. And so like my family is like, what is going on? Like, I didn't call my brother for his birthday. I also didn't call my sister on her birthday. I didn't want to. I haven't talked to them in a while. So like, they're like, wait, what? Why wouldn't you talk? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I just got into this vessel, and like, I haven't heard from you, you know, in a long time. I saw my dentist message me 26 times, and my brother allegedly messages me once. I'm like, it's okay. And you know, they're very like, why aren't you, we've always done this. Why aren't you still doing this? And I'm just like, babe, new sheriff in town. There's a new protocol. We're doing things differently now. I know it's like, you know, but like, yeah, we're just doing something different. So yeah, like that's how I feel. Like Scott Bakula, I don't get into this timeline, quantum leap into this timeline just to cosplay in the old timeline, you know, just to be like, oh, okay, what did Sheba used to do? Oh, she used to call. Cool. Hey, cool. No, we're doing something different. I'm here on a mission, babe. And sounds like you guys are not trying to go on it. And that's totally fine. I am quite positive we'll meet up again once I complete my mission. I'm going to be, you know, having a redemption tour and a lot of vindication, and people are going to come around and they're going to see like, oh my God, wow, that was so brilliant what you did. So, you know, they're like, I want my family and anyone who's kind of like, oh, what? No, stay on this timeline. You're going to be fine. It's okay. And take time to grieve, because like change is uncomfortable, but you'll be fine. Okay, Billy says, yeah, by being himself from a different timeline with better moral clarity. He insists on this clarity. Yep. Even in the goofy timelines, and this makes others react differently to his knowledge. Exactly. Literally, like he's insisting upon his timeline. He's like, oh, we treat black people this way. Like, why would he pretend that that's okay? You know, like he has to insist upon his timeline, on like how his way of doing things. And if you insist upon it intently enough, People might call you crazy. They might be like, I don't know what got into you, but eventually they're going to come around. And you really just have to like kind of believe it and like be delusional about it. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm insisting on this timeline where magic exists and we are incredibly powerful. Let me not even like go so far. Like maybe y'all aren't that as powerful as I am. I think the people who are watching this, obviously you are, but you know, the people at large, most people have not awakened to their power and have like kind of told themselves that it doesn't exist really and that they shouldn't do it. They've like come up with all of these reasons why they are unwilling to kind of acknowledge the magic, acknowledge their power, and really get serious about it. They're kind of like resigned and accepting of and submitting to the rules of this timeline that were given to them by their parents and the society, and like their job is just to follow it, and they don't like it, but they are going to do it. And like, yeah, that's not what I'm doing anymore. I realized I have quantum leaped into like a timeline that I have daydreamed about since I was a kid, kind of. And I didn't fully realize this is what I was creating, but like literally just I've always been daydreaming about like the world I want to see and how I want to show up in it and how people respond to me and what happens because of that, what unfolds because of me kind of stepping into my power and realizing my power in things. And so like, you know, I think maybe the last episode, the episode before it, I was talking to you guys about that guy I know who got went viral because he was like, I don't love my wife, or I'm not in love with my wife, and kikiing about it with his boys. And oh, what was I saying about that? Oh, he was saying the reason he didn't he was like, you know, I'm not in love with my wife. I don't believe in that. Being in love, that's a fairy tale. It's an unattainable standard. It's an unrealistic standard, and it causes men too much anxiety, and women just need to be realistic. Ugh. And he rightfully got roasted by many different people on the internet of all genders. So it was great. But it did get me thinking about this idea of like how we're taught to just be so ashamed of imagining, to think we have to think it's so childish, and we have to live in the real world, and like believing in magic or dreams, or that, you know, an improbable thing can happen is supposed to be like the realm of children and not smart people. But like, no, that doesn't make any sense. And so I've just like, I just have to step into what I know is true and my own inner authority, which is like not what we're taught, you know? And so anyway, I realized a fairy tale. Like I actually have a very fairy tale life. I live in this like beautiful, cool, unique house that I own. I have this like amazing husband, like literally like a Prince Charming, like with none of the like, you know, downsides or drawbacks. Like I am like this beautiful kind of fairy. You know what people always tell me? Like they say I give like fae energy. A lot of people tell me that I'm magical, that I'm powerful. Like I had to start realizing like, you know what? I don't think everyone gets feedback like that. Maybe I need to start believing it on some level. Like, maybe I am magical. Maybe I am powerful. Maybe I am special. Maybe I am different, you know? And that is actually what makes me really magical and awesome. Like my Shiba-ness, my uniqueness, my fairiness. And so anyway, if everyone's telling me I kind of have this fae energy, I'm kind of a fairy, a fairy tale is literally just a fairy's story. So if you're a fairy tale is very attainable, very reasonable. It's just literally whatever your life is the fairy tale. And so like seeing that, I was like, oh my gosh, wait. And I've been like with my inner child kind of stuff, I've been watching a lot of movies that I used to watch a lot, or that, just come to me when I was a kid. And so one of these, I feel like my life is kind of like a Disney movie. I feel like I'm kind of a Disney princess. I know we're boycotting Disney, but you know, in this instance, I think it's actually really powerful storytelling that a lot of us know. Um, it's funny. So anyway, the title of this one is "Let Me Share a Whole New World with You." Right? We're on this new timeline. It's a whole new freaking world. And so I was thinking about how my life is this fairy tale. It's a Disney movie, and it's a mashup of different ones. And one that, one of the original ones that I've watched was Aladdin. Disney's Aladdin, classic, so good. Princess Jasmine. I've like always kind of like that's why I have a style. I love like a little crop top and like baggier pants. It's Jasmine coded. And what's so funny? I was thinking about like how the idea that like women like a bad boy, they like a bad boy. When they say that, they mean Aladdin, right? They mean like, kind of like a little scamp who's like sly and clever and brave, but like cares about children and, like justice and doing the right thing. A diamond in the rough. Anyway, that's what they mean when they say they want a bad boy. And that is what I have in Billy. He's like literally Aladdin. It's crazy. And I'm kind of Jasmine, actually. Like, as I was watching this movie recently, I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to talk about this. I was just seeing so many things that I didn't realize until I guess I was supposed to realize them. But first of all, okay, Princess Jasmine, who I really resonate with, being kind of this princess in this sheltered, privileged environment. And there's this law that she has to get married by her 18th birthday to a prince. And she's like talking to her dad. She's like, why do I have to do this? It's like unfair. And he's like, it's the law. And she's just like, that's really stupid. I just like, why do I have to do that? She like frees her birds, kind of a symbol of just like, everything just wants to be free. Like, you're not supposed to keep anything locked up in a cage, in like even if it's a golden cage in a beautiful palace, like it's still a cage and you got to let them free. Similarly, Aladdin also has this same kind of, he feels like he is limited and trapped by society's expectation because he's poor. He's a street rat, that's what they call him. It's not, but, and, like he embarrasses this like rich asshole who's going into the castle, and the dude claps back. He's like, you are a street rat. You'll always be a street rat. You will die a street rat and no one's going to remember you. And it's like, oof, that's a tough one. I think that's something that many of us are afraid of. It's kind of like obsolescence and like being forgotten. And like people not seeing us because of this role that we've been placed in, that society placed on us, like this title, princess or street rat. It's like, because you're in these, you like can't be you. And yeah. So I was like, oh my God, that's really interesting. I also loved the idea of they're both like diamonds in the rough. Like, there's more than meets the eye to Jasmine and Aladdin. And they meet kind of because, Jasmine sneaks out of the palace and she's like, I gotta go. I'm not doing this. She like, puts on a little disguise and like goes to the market, and she's like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. That's how I felt the other day. Our friend picked us up and took me to the grocery store so I could do some grocery shopping. I usually do delivery groceries. And so I felt literally like Princess Jasmine, like sneaking out of the palace to like go to the marketplace among the commoners. It was so cute. I was like, oh my God, you need money? What? um, but yeah, anyway, so she goes out. She, of course, like sees a hungry kid and gives him an apple. The guy is like, what are you doing? You're stealing. And he's about to chop off her hand. A lot of anti-Arab, Islamophobic stuff in that movie too that are just like, ugh. But he does that. He's about to chop off her arm. Aladdin sees Jasmine when she's like going through, and he's like, oh my God, who is this beautiful vision? And he sees her in trouble, and he jumps in, and he's like, oh, like, I'm sorry, she's my sister. She's just a little bit slow. She doesn't know how to do anything. And Jasmine, like, goes with it. She's like, oh, yeah, what? Like, pretends that the monkey is the sultan and all these things. And so cute. And they get to know each other after that. There's this part where, they're trying to escape the police or something. And he jumps over a building onto another building, and then he, like, as he's laying a board down for her to like walk across, she like pole vaults across, and she's like, it's cool, I'm a fast learner. Oof. I totally resonate with all of that. I was like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, just because I'm a princess and it takes me a minute to know what the like common folk are doing, I still like, I catch on quick. It's cool. It's totally fine. So loved that. Also, I kind of loved like when, the palace guards catch Aladdin, because I think Jafar like went to find him or something. I don't even remember. But Jasmine, in order to save Aladdin, has to like unmask herself and like step into who she is. She's like, actually, I'm Princess Jasmine. Why are you guys not kneeling at my feet? Unhand him. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right. So just really interesting. Anyway, before that happens, actually, they're like commiserating over like, Aladdin's like, oh, it must be so cool to be in the palace. And she's like, no, it's probably a bunch of people just telling you what to do and telling you, how you have to do anything, how you have to do things. And they kind of, they bond over both wanting to like be free, wanting to like be themselves. Okay. So yeah, yearning for freedom from others' rules and expectations. And like, of course, as a young girl, I think I and many other girls and non boys were like, could resonate with that. Just like, actually boys could too. But I try not to worry too much about what boys and men are thinking. But yeah, they're just like yearning for freedom from other people's expectations. Anyway, okay, so let me pull up this one scene that I also think is really interesting. Okay, so after Aladdin, he's the diamond in the rough. He goes, gets the lamp. He like finds the magic carpet and the genie help him escape. Once he's out and he realizes he has this, genie and he has 3 wishes, he's like, okay, what's the first thing I'm gonna do? I have to find that beautiful woman that I met in the marketplace, but she's a princess and she's never gonna like love me as like a poor guy, so let me be a prince. My first wish is to be a prince. Let me get onto her socioeconomic level. And so he does that. Gets all of, he's like got the coolest parade, and he's just like got all of these trumpeters and like this big fanfare, and he's on an elephant, and Jasmine sees him and she's like, ugh, another rich man who's trying to just like win me as a prize because I'm like a princess, and like he doesn't really care about me, like he just cares about me as like a trophy. So he comes to see her in her bedroom, which when Sakura watches this, I like I want her to take note of Jasmine's bedroom. It's kind of the vibe I want for my, isn't that like a beautiful transition, by the way? Like, look at what Billy has done. Like, he's created this beautiful interface and template, and just he just helps me bring all of my dreams into this timeline. I just so honored. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on mute, and I put the subtitles on because, copyright stuff. But yeah, so I want this bedroom though, like this, like, ooh, it's so like beautiful, this like silk, lounging, this drapes, oof, that's just like, I love that. That's the vibe. Like, I am very a princess. Okay, and she's like, okay, who is this? Oh, he's like, oh, it's Prince Ali's, pretending he's so grand, and like, and she's like, please go away. How did this man get into my bedroom? And he's like, just give me a chance. And she's like, no, I am gonna send my tiger. Um, and so he's out here. She like recognizes him. She's like, aren't you like the dude from the marketplace? And instead of just being honest, he's like, no, she's never going to accept me as that. So no, I'm this cool prince, and I've got a lot of money, and yeah, like I've never been to a marketplace. Like I have servants who go to the marketplace. And she's like, oh my God, this one of these dudes again. And he's like, just, she's like mad at it. She's like, okay. And then he like, compliments her, blah, 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 and does all those things. I like want to watch this movie again now. It's so good. Anyway, he's just kind of saying what he thinks he's supposed to say. And she's just like, babe, that don't impress me much. Oh. So you got the moves, but have you got the touch? So true. She's just like, bro, I do not want to be around someone who sees me as a prize. In that sense, like, get away from me. So she's like rejecting him, and she's like, go jump off the balcony. And anyway, he's like, dang, I blew it. Okay, sorry, watch this next part. Blah blah blah. He's like, okay, you're not just some prize to be won, you should be free to make your own choice. And he goes to get on his carpet. But like, look at how when he comes back. Whoa. Oh my goodness. We have our another donation. Oh my goodness. Like, of course, I'm a princess. I'm a queen. I'm a goddess. I'm an empress. So, of course. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. So honored. But yeah, okay. So he So he's like, yeah, okay, I will, I'll go. And he jumps off the thing, and she's like, oh my God, did you just jump off the balcony? And he's like, what? And then he's like, how did you do that? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm on a magic carpet. Do you want to get on it? And okay, this man comes to her trying to impress her with, he's like, oh yeah, I have servants, I have rich guy stuff, and blah, blah, blah. Forgetting that he literally is magic. He has access to a magic carpet and a genie. And you trying to impress me with like that you got servants, babe? I got servants. And so, I think it's interesting. Women, Jasmine, me, able to see the actual value in people, the actual magic. She was like, what are you doing? How are you doing that? He's like, oh, I do have a magic carpet. Do you want to ride? And like, yes, of course. And he does this like, do you trust me thing? Because she's like, is it safe? What is this thing? Why aren't the closed captions on? Oh, unavailable. That's okay. You know what's going on. She's like, yes, I want to get on this magic carpet. So I just think it's really interesting that, like, we are often kind of unaware of our own magic, of our own value, of the things that make us like really special and the things that are going to make someone choose us, that are going to make us choose us, like that make us the diamond in the rough. We're kind of unaware of our own magic. And he was like, "Oh, what? Oh, the carpet. Yeah, of course, sure." And then they go on, of course, a magic carpet ride. I cannot believe he didn't start with that in that like a man. Oh, you want to go on a magic carpet? Duh. Anyway, I love, you have to go. Oh, can I get the closed captions on this? Oh, unavailable. Let's see. Hold on. I want to, maybe I don't need to. Yeah, maybe I wrote it down actually. Oh, did you? You're so brilliant, Sheebs. Ah! Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what's the song? We all know it. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess. Now, when did you last let your heart decide? Of course. We're taught, let some other external authority decide what you do. Your parents, the law, your community, your husband, whatever. When did you last let your heart decide? Oof. Anyway, she gets on, I can open your eyes. Oh my gosh, Billy says sing it. Okay, this is Aladdin's part. You have to learn Aladdin's part, baby. We have to do this as a duet. It's going to be so beautiful and magical. I can open your eyes, he says. And it's so sexy too. Billy, like, remember what I said about like, this is you. He's like, I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, so I think I'm on the wrong part. Over, sideways, and unwards on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. Isn't that the thing? People are always telling us no, or, you got to go there, you got to be there, or like, you're just dreaming, that'll never come true. Like, shut up. Oh my God. That's crazy that like so many people succumb to that and are just like, okay, listen, like they said no, they said it's a dream. Like, what? Anyway, okay. Yeah, no one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when we're way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you. Now I'm in a whole new world with unbelievable sights, indescribable feeling, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling. Which also, when you're in this new world, it's gonna feel like tumbling, freewheeling, like soaring. It's like, it's not gonna be like a, buckle up and, blah, blah, blah. It's gonna feel out of control. And it's gonna feel scary and exhilarating and indescribable. But like, you still gotta do it, baby. Oh, okay, also, what was I saying? Blah, 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 indescribable, blah, blah, blah. I don't even remember. There's this part where like they like go down and she's like, and he's like, don't you dare close your eyes. Like, oh, so hot. So sexy. He wants you to watch. So sexy. I love it. Yeah. And then they just go, don't you dare close your eyes. So hot. That's Billy. And they see the world. I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this whole new world with you. A whole new world. That's where we'll be. A thrilling place. A wondrous space for you and me. Oh, that would have been a great way to end this episode, but I still have more to talk about, so we're gonna keep going. Okay, Sheba full screen. Let's go. Yeah. Okay. So, oh, another part. She goes, I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. I can't go back to where I used to be. It's like once you've seen it, you can't go back. Once you know there's this new world, there's this new timeline, that old timeline is just not going to hit. You just know that when people were like, you're just dreaming, that's not true. Their magic exists. There's this whole new freaking world. And I can't go back to how I used to be. How you gonna get them back on the farm when they done seen Perry? That's an Agnes Newman classic. Once you've seen this new world, you can't just go back, babe. Or I just can't go back, so I won't. Yeah. So if you go through the rest of Aladdin, lots of great messages. One of which is, okay, like Aladdin asked Genie, like, what is your wish? You've seen a lot of wishes. What's your wish? And Genie's like, I am this like phantasmically powerful being, but I am trapped in this itty bitty living space of a lamp, and he's enslaved. He's not free. So freedom is, he's like, I would just love to be free, and not have to just come whenever my new master is calling. Oh, isn't that all of us? Isn't that all of us? Isn't that Aladdin and Jasmine both just wanting to be free and wanting to use their power how they want to, wanting to live their dreams without everybody like telling them like, nope, can't do that. If you guys remember, like after Aladdin, the movie, there was also like a cartoon TV show of Aladdin, and in it, Genie is free, and Genie's there, and Iago is there, and Genie and Aladdin and Jasmine and Iago and Abu, of course, they just like go on adventures and like do stuff. I don't even remember what they do, but like that is what I feel like this timeline is about. It's about like freeing powerful magical beings who yearn to be free. They like choose to ride with me. When you're free and you can do whatever you want, you still choose to come and like hang with me and like, you know, see like I do. Like, you know, you want to see what I do and you want to help. And yeah, that's like what Aladdin's about and what I'm about. Yeah. So, I'm going to talk about another Disney movie soon. But yeah, so in segue, we have this myth that is in a lot of our societies about like, in order to be accepted, and free to do what you want, then you have to hide who you are. You have to deny or like limit your light or your magic. You have to be someone else. So Aladdin and Jasmine, Jasmine dressed up as like I'm just a regular person. Hello, haha. That's how she thought she could be free and do what she wanted, by pretending to not be a princess. Aladdin, when he had all the power, he was like, I want to be this person who is not me. I want to pretend to be this person who someone would see as valuable. In order to get what I want and be free, I have to be this other person. Another movie that, when I was listening to A Whole New World, the song, like the next song that came up was Reflections from Disney's Mulan. Another great film that I loved growing up and really resonated with a lot. And also has a similar theme about like literally reflections. Like in the movie version, she's like, you may think you see who I really am, but you don't know me. It feels like I have to play a part. I may never be this perfect bride or this perfect daughter. And like, I see that if I were to really be myself, it would break my family's heart. And I think a lot of people resonate with that. Like, I certainly understand this idea that, like, I shine very brightly. I'm very, like, a very clear mirror. I'm very, like, myself. And that's a lot for some people. And, like, certainly as a woman, as a Black woman, as a middle child, I think people expect me to fit in and accommodate and to do what I'm told and to not make trouble and to just go along with things. What's his name in Aladdin? Sorry, jumping back and forth, but Jasmine was talking to her dad and she's like, "Why do I have to follow these rules? This is so stupid." And her dad was like, "Oof, your mother was so much like she didn't make a big fuss about this." And that's like an annoying thing. Like, a lot of our moms, aunts, grandmothers, like, they did have much lower standards of treatment than we did. And so now us doing the obvious thing and just, like, not just blindly going along with unjust, unfair laws, the men are like, "What? Oh, women don't just follow laws now? Don't follow the customs that don't serve them anymore?" It's like, yeah. Why weren't we doing that before? But doesn't matter. So similarly, Mulan is like, wait, okay, so there's, China is under attack and they're making the oldest man from every family go serve. But, like, my dad is, like, 60 and he's got, like, a leg injury. He's, like, disabled. He's gonna die if that happens. And she's like, "Don't go." And he's like, "This is the law. Like, go. You're my daughter. Like, shut up. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter if you don't like it." Ooh. Again, like a stupid, unfair law that all the adults, the men, are just like, I don't have to like it, but I am going to comply with it and not resist it in any way. Forcing Mulan to be like, all right, you know what? I got to do what I know to be right. I don't care what you say. I am going to, again, put on a mask in order to be free, because that's what we kind of tell ourselves. The only way we can kind of be ourselves, follow our heart, is by being someone else. Like, she couldn't just be Mulan and go fight in the army. She has to cut her hair, so iconic, and pretend to be a boy and go into the army. And then what does she do? Figures it out so quick and then starts teaching these boys how it's done. She's like, "This is how you be a man, dummies." Which, so many messages. But, okay, what I wrote down is, perhaps you are bad at fitting in because you're not supposed to. Maybe the reason you don't fit in a lot of places is because you're supposed to be leading. Like Aladdin, Jasmine, Mulan, they're not supposed to fit in. They're supposed to have their own independent vision and judgment of how things go. Scott Bakula, he's not supposed to just fit in his timeline. He's supposed to pull his timeline forward. So yeah, maybe you're bad at fitting in because you're supposed to lead the way. You're supposed to show these hoes how it's done. And you doing that is what people are going to love you for. That's what's going to keep you safe. That's what's going to give you everything you desire. It's counterintuitive because, like, we're told, like, no, the exact opposite. Fit in. That's how you get along. Do what other people before you have done and what everyone around you is doing. Just do that, but maybe slightly better. But, like, yeah. So, yeah, you're supposed to be leading the way. You're not, if you're bad at fitting in, accept that you are bad at fitting in because you are supposed to be leading, and showing these hoes how it's done. So also in these movies and in life and blah, 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 and in my own life, of course, I noticed these leaps of faith, these jumps of trust in Aladdin, Aladdin keeps going like, "Do you trust me?" And she's like, "Okay, yeah, I do." Um, and I do that all the time, but like with the universe, kind of. It's like when I want to do something, my heart tells me to do something, but I don't have, like, I haven't seen anyone do it before. You have to like trust the universe. You have to trust that there's like a magic carpet. You have to trust that you're the diamond in the rough, and that the universe is going to come together and send you your helpers, the people who see you, the people who understand you, who are going to, like, it's going to work out. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, babes. So yeah, jumps of trust, leaps of faith, letting your heart decide. Those are really like important maps and compasses, like how you navigate this new timeline. It's very heart led. It's very like spirit led. You have to like kind of trust in spirit and the divine and all this stuff. That like your steps are ordered. You're anchored to your path. You can't get off it. So even if it seems unrealistic, even if other people are like, no, could never happen, unrealistic, you got to live in the real world. That's, you're dreaming. That's the old timeline, babe. On this timeline, dreams come true. On this timeline, magic exists. On this timeline, quantum leaping is a thing. And if you are the quantum leaper, you're responsible for following your mission, not getting distracted by what people on the old timeline want you to do, on the character they want you to play. You're supposed to be you. So yeah, the power in both Aladdin and in Mulan, and in probably lots of Disney movies that maybe I'll go through, and other movies that I'm really drawn to, the power is in being yourself. And your ability to act, to pretend, ooh, sorry, your ability to act and to pretend and to perform, to be someone else, that you should only do that really in service of being yourself. So it's okay to pretend to be a commoner if you're trying to be yourself, if you're trying to get free, if you're trying to escape this, life that they want for you. It's okay to pretend to be a prince if you are trying to get this person to see you, to be like, once she like knows me, it won't matter. On your journey, you're going to try on a bunch of different things to see, like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is who I am. Maybe this is it. And yeah, I'm seeing more and more, you kind of like peel it back rather than put it on. You like remember, you unbecome. We like spend all our life like being told to, you have to be this, you have to become this, you have to become professional, you have to become successful, you have to become blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it's all about unbecoming, babe. It's all about unbecoming. I'm going to be talking a lot about that on this timeline. So yeah. So yeah, your ability to act is to be used in service of freedom and being yourself. Like sometimes you got to act and pretend in order to get by, So, on this timeline, confirmation burp, I'll say. On this timeline, it's okay to disappoint your parents. If you're going to follow your heart, if you are going to really acknowledge your magic, you're going to not hide your magic, it might go against what your parents told you to. It might go against what your mother did. Your mother maybe learned to hide her light, to make her light small and digestible and not too bright. You don't want to blind any. You don't want to you don't want to annoy someone. You might have to be annoying, babe. And it's okay. On this timeline, people can perceive you as crazy. They can perceive you as annoying. They can perceive you as disobedient. You don't have to worry about the pressure of being a good daughter on this timeline. You don't have to worry about the pressure of being a good son or a good family member. You can trust that, like, they're going to come around, babe. They're going to come around. if both in Aladdin, at the end, sorry, spoiler alerts for two of these movies, at the end, the Sultan is like, oh my gosh, okay, Aladdin and Jasmine are obviously in love. And he says, am I the Sultan or not? Like, I'm going to change the law. Of course you can marry this guy, like, who's not a prince. But, like, so what? He's amazing. He's done all this stuff. He's freed, the realm from this evil sorcerer. Yeah, welcome to the family, bro. There you go. Look it. Like, dreams come true. Fairy tale came true. Everyone stepped into their power, including people who were attached to the old timeline, people who were like attached to like doing things how you're supposed to. He was like, wait, why am I doing that? I'm the Sultan. I can do whatever I want. I can make any law I freaking want. And he does. In Mulan, not only does my girl disobey her family, and they're really worried and afraid for her, she, does really good. She is like the best, soldier, the best man. She goes rogue and like does what she thinks to do, and she like saves the day in this like big battle. She gets injured. They realize she's a woman, and they're like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna like, banish you. We have to like kill her. And, of course she's saved by the general guy who was in love with her, who was in love with him. Let's be honest. If you know, if you've seen Mulan, you know that the general fell in love with Mulan when she was pretending to be a boy. So, love that. But anyway, her life is spared. She goes back to like being in society as a woman, and she realizes, oh my gosh, the Huns are still trying to freaking attack. And they're trying to like kidnap the emperor or whatever. And she goes around town. She's like, hey, we gotta like save the emperor. And they're like, shut up, you're a woman. You're a woman. Oh, how frustrating. How frustrating. She's back in being herself, being a woman. People are like, oh, count it out. Not worth listening to. Ugh, go away. So annoying. And she gets her couple of army buddies. She convinces them to, like, honestly, they do this drag thing, actually, and they pretend to be women, and they distract the guards, and they sneak into the palace. So funny. Oh, my gosh. Femininity is so brilliant and powerful, and versatile. Anyway, she ends up saving the day. She, the emperor thanks her and makes her an advisor, and her family is so proud of her. She gets the guy in the end. The general falls in love with her and like comes to see her and marries her. And like her family's like, what? We never, Mulan? What? But yep, that's what happens, you guys. You just be yourself and your dreams come true. I know it seems simplistic, but it's a paradox. It's both very complex, but also very simple. So yeah, so yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so brilliant. The power is in being yourself. Your ability to act and perform being someone else is to be used in service of your freedom and of being yourself. It's okay to disappoint your family. Your ancestors and the universe are with you. Because if you remember, both in Aladdin and, of course, in Mulan, her ancestors are like, she's the one. Let's go. Let's go. Like, we're gonna, pull out all the stops for her. Your ancestors and the universe is with you, and you save the world, and everyone loves you, and you live happily ever after. That's it. That's what's gonna happen. That's what this timeline is, this fairy tale timeline. There's a happy ending. Magic exists. We live happily ever after. It's very satisfying, and it's brilliant. It moves this other timeline forward. It moves our species forward. It's going to evolve our species for the better, babe. Ooh, it's going to be so magical and so fun. Okay, anyway, thank you guys for sitting with me. My beloved husband, I love you so much. You're so amazing. I'm so excited for the things that we are creating, and it's really magic. Truly magical, babe. All right. Well, that's all I got. I love you so much. Bring your forehead in here. I think that's still really cute. Bring your forehead in here. Put it on your screen. Your forehead against your screen. Love you. This is all made up. I know even more now. I'm even more certain of that. This is all made up. And you can kind of make it up however you want. So we're going to do that now. I'm in charge. There's a new sheriff in town, all right? But it's cool. It's going to be fun. Love you guys. I'll see you soon. Look at this cool ending. Look at this. Here, look at this. How can I? Look at that. Look at, oh my God. That is such a beautiful logo that Billy just like made for me. Like, oh God. Being seen, someone else seeing your magic. No greater love. Beautiful. Beautiful. Such an honor. Okay. I love you guys so much. I'll see you soon. Thank you for, no, how do I want to say it? Let's see. I don't know. Something, see like Sheba.